Welcome everyone to this ETF2L Season 34 Division 2 semi-final. We got the best team from Division 2A against the best team from Division 2B. It's Xypher versus the Compound. We've got ArchRhythm on production. I am Peter, and joining me tonight to just grace you with wisdom about all things TF2, it's DuMmTm. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. This should be interesting. You said the best team from Div2A, but really, I mean, they did finish second, technically speaking, because of
Did they?
a bunch of weird things happening. Let's put it that way. But they did finish second in the end, and the Zoo finished third, and the other first and third seed from that division played yesterday, which we unfortunately couldn't catch. That looked like it was a really good game, 6-3, so obviously a map, it went to a decider map, to third map, and the Zoo did win in the end, which is definitely an upset, just by seeding alone. So interesting things happening. The two, when the season started, and you would have asked me who made finals, I would have said Delivered and Compound for sure. But one already changed, so why not another one? So I'm interested to see how this match goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm all for big old upsets here, especially like in good old Div2. Like man, it's been so long since I've seen a proper Div2 games, but these guys are pretty good. I recognize a lot of names. They play a lot of pugs, so you know they're going to be some real DM donkeys and some good team play thrown in for sure. So I'm all excited for it. But do you want to go through maybe the roster of the Compound, and then I'll take the other one?
Sure, yeah. If you watched Div1 last season, a lot of the compound should be familiar. We have, that was actually roster changed at some point as well. Well, at the beginning of the season anyway. But we have Stan and Kayan on the Soldiers, as far as I'm aware. Godmode and Storm on Scout, Zigonna on Demoman, and Roche on Medic.
Yeah, and then on the other side, we've got good old Eliasu on Demo Man. We've got Mop on Medic. We've got Asicle and Lil Cute on Scouts, and then we got Diggy B and Mac on Soldiers. So that's an explosive combo duo going up against. I just want to point out that completely on an aside, Gona is the greatest spy of all time, and he's playing Demo Man, so should be interesting. I just want to get that in there.
Yeah, so the story of the compound was that they obviously played Div 1 last season and wanted to play it again, but Div 1 machine full, so ETF2L put them in Div 2 instead. And EverX at that point was the soldier left. They got stand in, and still working fine. But Div 2 obviously won all but one game against Delivered, which was a tie. Those guys are out of commission for now, but the Zoo is still looming in grand finals, and if they can beat them, then surely the compound shouldn't be out of reach either. But they still have to get there first against Xypher, who I can't say super handily won Div 2B, but they did beat everybody in the end. I think there was a couple of like 5-1 games where they just kind of like barely won some maps, but they managed to get out on top every time. We were a Div 2 playoffs team last season with a 3-man different team, I believe, and managed to reform and to come back strong again, make it just as far as last time basically, but obviously they want to get that one step further in.
Yeah, it's always good to have these experiences where you're in these really tight games and you come out on top anyway. I think that's a very important experience to have, you know, because it just gives you so much confidence to know you can do it in here. But I think it's going to be, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one-sided, but at the same time, these playoffs games, they're like super close most of the time. And sometimes people just step up super hard in these playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. That's when it counts the most. Like all your practice goes into your season for these games, and if you can't step up now, then what's the point, right? Like now is when it matters the most.
Absolutely. So, do you care to give us a prediction here, DuMmTm? Who do you think are going to end up taking this?
I'm curious to see how this goes. It's really hard for me to make a prediction, just because these two divs in Div 2 and like played out so massively differently. That it's hard for me to compare these teams. They haven't really scrimmed each other at all. I think Xypher avoided playing both Delivered and the component scrims quite a bit, intentionally or not. So there's not much previous precedent going into this either, which is also often interesting to look at. I think the last time they played was in the preseason with both teams still trialing people, which was like tied maps at that point. So it used to be close enough at one point, so it really comes down to who made the biggest upgrade to the gameplay overall in this season, from what I've seen. But I also did see a lot more of like Xypher team. They did improve quite a bit over the course of the season, maybe just enough, but I would also say that Compound started a lot stronger already.
Yeah, it's like some teams just start out super strong and then they just kind of trail off or other teams catch up to them. That should be interesting. I'm gonna put my eggs in the Xypher basket. I think they have some really good players and they, you know, I think they're just gonna do well. But we're actually gonna go live here, so this is gonna be the first of 3 maps. Gonna be Gollywash to start out with, and then we go to Snakewater, and then the decider will be Granary. But we'll take that as we come to it for sure. So it's gonna be Eliasu, who's pretty weak actually already in choke, but hits some pretty nice stickies here in choke. And there is a sort of waiting to maybe jump up, but he's actually been completely shut off. Max gonna do a big jump up right now. Get some fat rockets as follow-up comes in from Diggy B as well. Tons of damage. Devilman goes across the point, maybe a bit too aggressively. Just walks into a bunch of rockets, and there's gonna be a single sword and 6 HP behind, and then Milky's gonna be the last person alive, gets 1 kill. That's gonna be it. 4-0, so to speak, on this mid.
Yeah, Compound just played this really patiently. They just sat on their side and waited when people commit, who commits when, and just see how they can get those people to die as quickly as they could, and just had a single bomb come in themselves, while Xypher was busy trying to coordinate the aggression, but that, coupled into the good defense, just got the medics straight away and cleaned up everything else very quickly afterwards. So, solid, patient play by the Compound all around, gets them a huge add into last to play around with, and we'll see if that's good enough. Obviously, Gollywash gives you a lot of different ways to approach last, and you still have to get past this gun pyro setup every single time.
It's always a super annoying thing. But yeah, they're ready. It's only a level 2 gun, but here comes the pyro. He's doing a really good job of just completely stopping it. They finally made it through, but it's just way too late. They did not deal with that properly. They did get the sentry gun, and then Azago at the very tail end of that Uber, but that Uber did almost nothing. Mac might even get the sword kill. Stan's super weak. He will be able to just limp off there. But man, that pyro just did work.
Yeah, it's like the classic pyro shutter denial that you see much less these days in favor of just people air blasting stuff away from the sentry gun, but it still works if people aren't ready, and the Compound clearly wasn't, so gives Xypher some room to breathe, maybe something to do out of last. Everybody's holding fairly passive on Compound, not wanting to risk anything to Xypher. Also not really getting a force quite yet. Maybe they want to engage from Victor once they have. They do have 90 now, Xypher playing this nice and patient themselves, giving them a lot of time here.
Mag actually gets picked off in choke, so this sword is going to come in from behind. Uber has actually been triggered in Victor. That's going to be both teams, but so many players have been forced to be flashed from both teams, and it looks like second point will fall once again to our red team, and they might actually just even move in onto last right now. The Compound, they're kind of hungry for these frags. I think they might be forced to move out, but this sword is in so deep. Diggy Beast is getting hit by so many upwards rockets. Gona actually goes down. I think he was trying to sneak behind, but not quite going to get it. This heavy's definitely going to shut down any aggression as well. So a nice little push in there, but not quite managing to really achieve anything that's going to cause an immediate push in at least.
Yeah, I did like the play from Victor, really slow though, to get the exchange out. They expected Xypher to play slow and just use it into their own advantage to get the Uber up and running in time to get an exchange out on the second point before it was like capped off properly. And it worked out just fine in that regard, but clearly just rushed it a little bit too much. Can, I think, and Gonna just were a little too early.
Right now, I think he missed the shot right there. I'm not quite sure. I didn't hear him shoot, but I could swear I heard like the ricochet. But he's gonna rotate around. I'm pretty sure the medic knows about it. Yeah, he's like hiding in the pillar inside of a dispenser that's going up. So they definitely know. But the hero shot, like he's thinking about it. Like Senko, at some point he might just go for the Thalas or Kredu shot or whatever you want to call it, where you sit on top of that lip. But he's rotated back down into main, and the sentry gun is even being protected by this pyro, so there's a lot of pressure. Actually, this sentry gun finally does go down. Really nice pressure going on there, but no real kills so far.
Yeah, nothing really happening off of the gun being down, as you said, and with that, gun slowly being rebuilt, pyro to protect it, but at least somebody snuck in from lower, waiting to play the point as the Sax tried to come in, getting denied. Storm and Stan both having no chance against the defense here. And again, 2 picks in Xypher's favor. It's decent to make something happen, but surely this could also just be a bait here.
Yeah, they're going to hold in this big door again. It worked out for them really well. Senko's actually going to rotate all the way into choke. He could be jumped here, but they don't actually know about it. Medic gets jumped and actually gets forced in big door. Really nice done there by Mac. Just seizes the opportunity really well. And now it's going to be a full Uber advantage, but it's going to be for the defensive team. They're also building like a banner and stuff. They have a sentry gun up, so do you think they're actually going to push out on this, or are they just going to sit on it?
The banner just got switched off in favor of just having gunboats again, which clearly wasn't ready at that point. And last time it didn't work too well, so they need to be faster, not giving them a chance. However, the sniper is still there, so making hasty decisions could get punished quickly if Godmode hits some shots. He does rotate all the way as they are approaching from top on Xypher, trying to just play this carefully and maybe just a little bit faster than last time. So far, it seems to be working just fine. Hawker is still far away from having, and this time they are having a lot more eyes on Big Door as well, so it's pretty much a free cap. Compound resigns themselves to holding mid for now and just hope Godmode can deliver the shot here.
It was a really good decision to go up top. They just played around the sniper sightlines perfectly there. There's absolutely no chance for anyone, and they didn't want to commit in Big Door as well. The combat, they were pretty satisfied to just sit back, bleed out the Uber, and now it's going to be an even Uber again. So it's just going to be completely standard setup right now. We do still have this sniper for the compound. He's going to be hiding around down in Big Door, which is where you usually see a sniper just peek around. And at some point they could actually push forward and maybe get the sniper in there. The good part about a sniper is, of course, you can get these picks and you don't have to go in very deep. You don't have to send in suiciders, but at the same time, one of the best ways to break a stalemate on this map is to actually send someone into Big Door, right? But you can't send someone behind when you also have a sniper. At least it seems like a bad idea to me.
Like I said, I don't have too much previous knowledge about these teams, but I did watch a little bit of Xypher, so... and on Gullywatch for that matter as well, and that was not a pretty game regarding playing around the sniper, so I don't know how aware the compound is of that, or if it's just like them relying on sniper as much as they normally do. But if that hasn't been fixed since then, which is arguably a long time ago, this could be getting ugly very quickly if they start daring a little bit more on compound. So far, Godmode's not taking too many chances here. You're just holding far back in Big Door. People slowly pushing up with him now, trying to get him some more space here.
Oh, Mac's gonna jump in aggressively there. Senko actually almost dies, then he gets an arrow and he's going to be fine again. But he actually had a lot of space to work with. Like, he could have walked in a lot earlier if he just trusted it. Like, he didn't know if there were people around the corners and stuff, obviously. But he was being very passive. So it seems like the compound are just very content with just sitting back, taking their time, getting this one easy pick, and then maybe doing it from there. Because so far from what I've seen, they're very good at actually doing these coordinated pressure plays where they just all spam from all different angles all at the same time. It's been very good to see so far, but you know, they haven't quite been able to just make that materialize into something bigger than like a bunch of spam.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that they can put on the series mode when they need to. I've spoken with Storm a little bit, and he says his team sometimes has a little bit of trouble of taking Scrim serious, at least as much as he would like them to, but at the moment they're clearly
Stan tried to go in a spy, but he got hit. Like, he definitely got hit by a scout, and like, there's no way they didn't see him, right?
Yeah, clearly that must have been noticed, but the question is how they approach this, because right now they're just giving up most of control of Victor at the moment. Eventually people come forward again, but it still is always dangerous to even give the sniper any opportunity at all.
I mean, this is the perfect strat. It's where it's the medic can't win strat. If he looks behind you, you can just get sniped. If you look forward into the sniper, you get backstab. Perfect play. You can't counter that. There's just no way you could ever play around it. Spy looks like he is about to make his move. Mac actually going down. That's going to cause people to have to look into choke. Man, they're so ready for this Spy. Like, as soon as they lost the player, they looked behind them because they knew, okay, now the Spy's going to come in. Like, they just know.
Godmode switched off in the meantime as well. There comes a sack by Ken, trying to be the distraction. Bob's looking behind though. Stan has no chance to get anything done here. And at this point, Mac's up again as well after his unsuccessful sack. So opportunity is there to make something happen. Let's see if it's good enough though.
Opportunity looms. They're gonna put some pressure on the Big Door. Mac looks like he wants to jump, but there's a scout waiting to greet him with a scattergun, but they're putting time onto the point. Diggy is on the side as well. The spam is really nice. Here comes the Uber pop, and it's not a good pop. This scout is just being abandoned. Like Jorge was just like, no, I'm not doing that, bro. You're on your own, dude. And Scout actually does survive. He gets a med revive at the end there. Gona's going to get a pipe onto the soldier, so they do get mid, but they lose 2 players for it, so they could very well lose it again. They're going to lose the Scout as well. Devilman goes down as well, and Jorge, he's going to try his best to get out. It looks like he has grabbed the Scout cap, and they will just lose mid right back.
KN gets the flank around kill. He was really quick through choke there to catch him out of Big Door. Really nicely done, and all of this out of just bad post Uber position. They had such a better Uber, but they just were stuck on low ground afterwards, and Compound wisely chose to re-aggress where the weak hold was still happening, so quick push there when it mattered the most, gives them full ad into last and very little time to set up a hold here. A gun will be up, but it's merely level 1. The Pyro obviously denied a lot last time, but surely Compound expects a lot more this time. Let's see if they can actually deal with it right now.
Yeah, they might decide to go Riverside or just through main. Both of those are a lot harder to airblast than the Shutter Door. Stan might actually go down. No, he's gonna survive. They're being very slow right now. And like Combat, they have been in the lead, but they have not been able to get these last pushes in. The Pyros are in again. You will get taken care of pretty quickly this time. Senrigan has gone down as well. They haven't really gotten any kills other than that one Pyro kill. They don't have good positioning, but they are slowly funneling. There's this heavy weapons guy. DGB is super weak as well. It's very unfortunate that they're not getting that many kills, but they are about to put pressure onto this point. Stickies has been blown. They're going to have to force down the Heavy's being spammed out super hard. Finally, they're going to catch a pipe dying out, and that's going to be it. Everyone's just shooting from the point, and again, that was just so slow. Like, just from every side, they just pressured that point.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of better focus fire away from Xypher to actually work as well. Everybody was so weak after that, but Compound wisely chose to just rotate a little bit, get people behind the point and play from there instead of rushing into people and force a fight when they were weak. And that just worked out just about well enough here to get the first round. 11-minute round though, long fight here.
Yeah, the Compound, they looked like they were ahead the entire time, but it took a while for them to actually make use of it. It's going to be a soldier that stands up to the drop down. Trophy guns come in from the front as well. DGB will actually be the first person to die to a sticky trap, but blue team right now, they're just pushing across the point so aggressively. Xypher will just get in there, get the demo man down, but as it is, the Compound's just going to slowly etch them out. And the soldier tries to get down the scout, but I think Lil Q just going to get back to his own last there. But another strong mid win there for the Compound.
Xypher just really isn't allowed to commit on these mids at all, or they're just being shut down. I think most deaths happen on the Compound's half of mid, but it wasn't their players dying at all. So just again, strong defense on the mids, and like you said, these guys can play slow if they want to, and at the moment they're fairly content with letting Xypher be the ones aggressing first and responding to it second, and it's working just fine, giving them another full ad into last. Obviously a lot more time to set up something here. Same idea as last time, have the Pyro deny people while the gun sponges the damage elsewhere, you would assume. Let's see how it works out this time. They see the Pyro shutter, I think, through the glass, so they rotate immediately to river.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with that again. Pyro is going to rotate as well. He's actually done a pretty good job of blowing people back, but the Senrigan will die again, and this engineer died as well. Medic's going to get popped up into there. He gets taken down. It's just going to be 2 players alive. It's going to be Mac and the demo man on the point. Just only going to be the demo man now. He's definitely at the point already. Gets 2 players, but yeah, there's still 4 remaining. A really clinical push there. It's going to be 2-0 for the Compound. They've been looking so strong so far in this game.
Yeah, they took a while to adapt to these last pushes, but now they seem to have the holes just on lockdown and know how they need to approach them, and it works a lot better. So that coupled with good mid-fights is just the recipe for disaster for Xypher to have the steamroll completely out of control.
Gonna be both demo men rolling out through choke, spamming down into the big door. Let's see what they actually do on Xypher. Looks like they're playing quite a bit more passive. They're actually taking the opponent's side, and they actually have the high ground right now. If they can hold on to that, that's going to be really good. The demo man's going to be fighting a scout. He's not going to want to do that, but yeah, this positioning is looking extremely good for Xypher. They're not really, they didn't get like a whole lot of kills, but they got mid for sure, and Jorge survived, but that's pretty much the only good thing for the Compound here.
Yeah, a big change of pace, desperately needed too for Xypher. They just focused on the demo early. One bomb they had was just so the demo dies and get themselves to mid and second with this.
So it goes on to the medic, pops him into the air. Okay, he gets taken down immediately. If he got one more rocket there, that would have been very dangerous. Medic could have dropped, but he's going to survive. Second point will fall as well, but now we're going to have to settle in for the long haul here, I think, because we have 2 medics with a full Uber, but I mean, we do have Xypher that actually have to make something happen relatively quickly, right? They don't have 8 minutes to spare, so to speak. He's going pretty... Oh my god, that pre-fire, that was actually disgusting by Stan. Just completely shut down DGBs or Max. Just skip jump in. That was... I'm just going to call that pure skill.
It's interesting that they opted to not put up a gun here on Gully Wash as much as any other last point, but especially in Gully, I think. just because it's so small. The gun just covers so much ground to deny people coming in. Pretty much everything that's not under the point is just covered by the gun here, and they chose to have just a pyro, which obviously is still fine defensively speaking, but I'm surprised still that they opted for that over the gun.
Yeah, it's a little more skill dependent, but you know, he just denied the sorter there, so maybe he just has the skill to back it up. It's not as dependable as a literal aimbot, so to speak. But good job so far. It definitely worked out, and you're going to be a lot more capable just immediately being aggressive. See Stan, he tried to sneak his way out. He got spotted. You know, if no one was there to spot him in Big Door, he probably could have jumped behind, maybe in spawn camp, stuff like that. Looks like they're actually going to send Lil Cube back to go sniper. So they're taking it a little bit slowly here. They're not in panic mode yet. Like, there's still half the game remaining. No biggie. We see one banner on, is that Fugazi that's on that banner? I believe it is, yep. But he's got the battalions back up. He's going to be building that as fast as he can, but no one's even close for him to actually spam out right now. And let's see if what this little cute sniper can do. He's just sniping in Riverside right now. I think he's just waiting for like the demo man to peek out there or something. That would be like the proper bait, but no one's biting for it at all, and he's just going to slowly waddle in, fully scoped up.
Yeah, that's always the panic strike maybe, but like the desperation strat. If
well,
one thing doesn't work, maybe just snipe, stand out of position, just overextends a little bit too far into river, gets taken down. That's the start of things. The question is if it's enough. It's only solid. The gun will go down with that. Like you said, the pyro requires a little bit of skill, maybe just enough to get past sometimes, but the sack doesn't work. Cute gets another snipe. Demo man down helps a lot though.
Medic also took a bunch of damage because the dispenser next to him actually took damage and it did splash. So this is looking very precarious. 2 players went down. DGB's going to get another kill here. Like, this is such an uncomfortable situation. Unfortunately for Xypher, they're just a bit too passive, I feel like. There were only 3 players alive and the medic was pretty weak, so they were definitely in a position where they could have just done like a semi-push that ended up in some sort of soldier bomb in there. That could have potentially gotten the medic to either drop or force duper. A bit of an opportunity missed right there, but they're going to get another try here for sure. They're just on full, sniper duty, just waiting for him to do his job, and he is doing his job. Like, Lil Cube's been hitting some shots.
Ooh, Mac on the point now, starts playing it for the rest of the team to do something. Wins the 1v1 with Stan, 2 has so much cap time and no one bothers to contest him.
No pain train, no problem. Just takes it out.
Who needs to be more aggressive over picks when the other team just doesn't bother blocking the point much?
Yeah.
The soldier must have just not called that he died and no one even realized, oh, Solly's still there.
Nobody noticed he died. Yeah, sure. That's a theory if I ever heard one. I like it. Alright, so these mids have been very interesting so far. We did see a bit of a turnaround. DGB's going to do a very aggressive jump into Big Door, so he's going to be kind of out of the fight for a while until he decides to jump back in. Sten went up the drop down, he's been called, so that's going to force everyone into a very defensive stand. DGB's going to jump in onto the demo man, sure he's going to get him, no! Somehow, finally he does get him, and he will survive, and looks like everyone else has been forced out.
He's 10 HP, they're on the chase, Scout's trying to scatter him, he gets around the corner through Shutter. That might just save his life. He has a scout with him too, and he will escape for now. It seems like the way to beat these slow mids was to just play even slower, and suddenly it's the compound trying to commit first, and it seemed to work on mid just as much as it did just on last, where it seemed like nothing happened for so long, and now it's just Xypher outpacing them negatively, basically, by just playing even slower, and it works. Surprising, you don't see that too often to be the answer, but at the moment it seems to be working. Gun up, sniper up on the hold for the compound. Trying to hold onto this round, not let it come to a golden cap scenario if the timer were to run out right now.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice play from Xypher because there was a soldier behind him in drop down and they didn't like overreact to him. It's this very fine balance between ignoring him and not letting him like undermine your positioning and at the same time not getting screwed over by him. Right, like you have to take him into account, and they did that. They just towed that line perfectly. So really well played. But Medic's gonna get jumped super hard. Medic actually he takes like a big full 100 damage rocket, and then takes a bit of fall damage as well. But nice hold there from Mop, not panicking. He had no business popping there as well, and he doesn't do it. So a nice try there by Stan, just jumps in very aggressively. And like it is worth noting that the longer this game goes on, the bigger the advantage is for the compound. But of course, like they're pushed back to last, so they can very quickly.
Did anyone realize Max under the point again? Surely they will rag this time, but it's still a question of how much they can do as a team off of this. So far, not so much. DG is just getting denied really hard, and Riverside can't get anything started. But no one's checking lore right now, so I don't think the compound is aware of it.
And there are no stickies on the point. This is like an important point. Mac knows he can't go in right now. Stan's gonna try and see if he can get onto the medic, but there's a scout in the demo man just greeting him. So yeah, I think you're right. Like Mac has just actually snuck in again. Nobody knows. He's just waiting to make his move.
All right, sorry to interrupt, but is there a dispenser right now in the server? Just just asking. Like, is there a dispenser on the hold?
A dispenser?
Yeah. Do they have a dispenser on last?
Yeah.
All right, my game is a little bit bugged because Kayan's rocket launcher just has a dispenser in front of it.
Oh, there's a pain train on Mac this time around. There's so much time. And they even get a bunch of damage on Jorge as well. I love when teams do this play. Like they play the point, and then you also play the medic. So you do both, and one of them will often succeed. So they're gonna try to push out here from this top ground. There's a contingent in Big Door not really wanting to commit too hard. But there's also 3 players in choke. They might just go in.
Oh no, Mock dropped in Big Door. They wanted to do the same thing where they commit from Big Door and surprise them with an exchange, but they just drop instead. All sagging for the medic. Well.
Everyone's dropping out here. Max on 12 HP and choke. He might get taken down by the scout. He barely managed to pick up a medkit, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Nope, he is dead. Demo Man going to be the only one alive. Not going to be able to catch anyone with a sticky trap. He's going to just slink away. So that was just both medics dropping right there. Like, how did it happen to both of them, I guess?
Yeah, no one was really aware of things happening this quickly, and it still works out for the compound here either way. They got second, they got mid with this really quickly just by getting these kills quickly enough cleaned up after Jorge died. That it didn't make too much of a difference in terms of just progressing over the map. Slight disadvantage just because Jorge died delayed here, but still, it's not anything too big to worry about. And at this point in the game, with the pace we've been going by, 8 minutes, and being on the mid could just slowly but surely close out the gap for the timer here.
Yeah, Mob with the advanced play of dropping first. That gives you an advantage. Good play, good play. Not going to be something you can really push off or anything, and he didn't go crits either. So it's just going to be pretty standard right now. Jorge, of course, and probably going to just be calling for his team to just sit back, relax, we're up 1, boys. And the more they take our time off of this, the bigger the advantage is going to be. I'm just going to keep on harping on this because it's like this very fundamental truth about Div2. Soda's hiding around the corner. Actually does manage to catch out Gona right there. That's a really nice sneaky play from Diggy Beat. He was just waiting around that corner and he just catches out the demo perfectly. So how will they try to just take advantage of this? It's actually just going to be an Uber exchange in choke, but here comes the banner. He's been building it for so long, and that's going to be a battalion's backup. He will just now take 0 damage. The rest of the team need to get in here and help, and they are indeed. Yep, everyone else from Xypher, they need to get the hell out of there. That banner was perfect.
Yeah, this all came down to just damage on him quickly through choke, but it wasn't good enough, and now the chase is on into last. They want to convert this round fast if they can and just try to take the fight immediately. Not landing any shots too much though. Stan's really weak as well as KN, just stuck on last as well. Cleanup is not happening now, so they're giving them a chance here.
Scout on the point, so much damage to everyone that's on the point. It's another pipe. Looks like they're not quite going to be able to really follow up on the damage. Medic gets taken down as well in Big Door. Stan not really able to link up with him in time. So that was a very close and good push, but it's just not quite enough. Xypher, they are still in this game. They're going to be able to take second. They should be able to roll in onto mid as well, and then have an Uber advantage into second. This is looking surprisingly good, at least for the very moment right now for Xypher.
Really fortunate. That just came down to some DM not quite hitting the shots there on compound into last, not fast enough anyway. And Xypher was able to turn it around just barely until the spawns are there. So that made all the difference. Having this advantage into second right now makes it all the harder to even want to hold the sniper on God mode in power spawn. Getting 1 makes it all the more annoying. Digi close, gets him out of the way, but
Sad in the skybox as well. Takes down the medic. Oh man, poor Mop. Was that another drop? Soda's gonna be in onto the other medic. Somehow beats it. Somehow beats it.
Pack.
Jorge
He hit
got
him, but the park was there in time.
yeah, it's
But everything's dying around him.
This is a very precarious moment right now. This soldier looks like he's just gonna back off. He is full health right now. Gona doesn't really have any support with him in Riverside. Second point hasn't been captured either. No team really has a lot of heals coming out for them. Medics either died or were very weak and had to back off, but eventually it is going to just stabilize, and Jorge, he's going to see if he can make his way through choke without having to use a super stand is in from lower. And he's just going to jump into Victor and join the other soldier, but Mac will eventually goes down. Here comes the soldier, he's not going to jump in. Diggy B actually getting hit by a pretty nice rocket there from the soldier, so looks like Uber Advantage is going to take middle, but will they be able to take second here as well? It looks like they're definitely trying their best, but Stan jumped into a sticky trap. This might be a bit too much pressure. So this medic is about to get forced, and there we go. Oh, but the bonus!
Destruction. Everybody just got farmed up top there. The Uber Force comes out anyway, but just everybody hit every single shot there. Cute, the only one really around anymore in second, and he's just getting spotted by everybody in time. Shut down. Pretty much a full wipe.
Like, this block by Mac is so important. There's two players on last, but because they weren't able to cap it, now there's going to be spawners, and there's a medic and scout on last. This medic might get picked off as well. Second only now getting capped out. The medic will be able to make it out alive, but Mac with the huge play actually blocking second there. That is so important, and Ubers are actually even here as well. Oh my god, the compound barely unable to scrape that one through. Stan's gonna get picked out in water there, so let's see if he comes back on some sort of sneaky class.
Alright, that was just holding on to the thread there with all that happened with Mac backcapping and just barely getting enough kills here on last to make it work. But it worked out still, it's so little time left, and Xypher have to resign themselves to holding last for a little bit longer here to just have any opportunity to even get out of it successfully in the first place. It's going to be really hard. Meanwhile, Stan spawns on heavy, trying to deploy some heavy repush strat, you would imagine. I've seen it a couple times this season, so it's like slowly coming back in fashion. But we'll see if the compound have practices enough to be worthwhile.
Yeah, this heavy, I feel like they might just be settling in for the big crunch, where you just sit around, you just slow down the game, and then at some point you can't get pushed all the way back. This heavy is a big sign for me that they want to just take it easy. But we have a little cute on Spy, and I don't think they suspected. Maybe they spotted him. Like, the heavy's shooting wildly, so maybe they do. Little cute's gonna rotate into choke here. But yeah, they're definitely just sitting back in Victor. They want to just slow things down. Senko was completely alone up top, so he's gonna get taken down. Second scout was trying to go for the backup, but he's also gonna slink back. They've been playing it just so passive right now. And here they get exactly what they want. Oh my god, this was being milked so hard. There we go. Jorge finally's gonna drop this out. But the second soldier actually didn't get Ubered very much, so they're not gonna be able to chase down the medic. But I think they got exactly what they wanted. They just slowed down the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on the bright side, for how bad an exchange this was for Xypher, just with how long it took to force the other team, they got out alive just fine for the most part. So, I mean, you gotta look on the bright side if you're Xypher right now, because you only have 2 minutes left to make a push from coast to coast pretty much happening. They're forced to make a move here, and Compound can just prey on mistakes. Soldier trade up top there, but the heavy just makes it so much harder waiting in big door.
Max waiting inside the shutter door, waiting to make his move. I think Xypher's about to make that play in big door. They know they have to win this. They have successfully pushed everyone back, so they're gonna lose second here. The compound, they're gonna have to just bottle up here on mid to maybe make their stand here. They do have an Uber. They have a slight Uber advantage as well. So if they can catch out Mop, that would be really nice for them. Soldier's gonna try and go behind. It's 1.5 minutes remaining right now. Both soldiers have gone in. One gets Soldier down, but Gona actually does go down, so no stickies and choke. But this heavy, that's going to be a mouthful to deal with. And Soldier gets saved here as well. Some really nice flashes from the medic. Stand pretty weak, actually dies. That's huge. Scouts in from behind as well. Unfortunately, Craters going to be a 3-on-3. And Xypher, unfortunately, they just have to push. And it looks like it's not quite going to be enough manpower for them. This medic, he might just get toyed with right now. Yep, there we go. He's going to get taken down. And this could be the nail in the coffin of Xypher.
Yeah, they just it's the classic situation where you have so little time left, you're forced to make suboptimal plays, and that push surely wasn't it. Buff banner of all things, ready to
Yeah,
go
it's a buff ban.
for KN, so they just want to end this with like a lot of kills here. And with the Uber almost up and running, they might just make it a statement with the 3-1.
Have an Uber and mini crits. This is going to be disgusting. I'm just going to spec him. Let's go. All right, Fugazi's in. He's not actually even in the Uber. That's a bit weird. But yeah, the mini crits are just disgusting at this point. Like, look at just the work that's being done. Everyone just keeps dying, and no wonder, because this is just extra damage. And that's going to be ending the round in style, the match in style, 1-3. The compound take it, and they looked super strong throughout. They had a bunch of really hairy moments there where it was pretty close, but overall, I'd say they definitely looked like the stronger team.
Yeah, Xypher just found the answers too late. It took like 2 really sketchy mid-fights for them to figure out how they need to approach this, and by the time they got better, it was already this 2-0 lead that just never really was overcome properly, and it just was too little too late at that point.
Yeah, it really seemed like as soon as the compound just figured out that they should rotate away from the pyro, like everything just worked out for them, because they had the momentum and the control in like the round itself, and then they were just failing the last pushes. But as soon as they just cracked that code, it just worked out really well for them. And of course, just Mac doing so much work on that point, almost managed to open up the chances for a comeback. But at the end of the day, not quite enough. Let's take a look at some logs, shall we?
I see some big numbers on the pocket here for the compound, getting all the heals, 26%. Not really too common anymore to see these heal-heavy pockets, but I mean, if it's the style this team chooses, then at least it needs to work, and so far it does. So it's clearly justified by the way they're playing, tank the most damage, takes gets the most heals, and delivering with kills and damage himself, as the rest of the team mostly relegated to opening up things or cleaning up off of that.
It's actually very interesting if you look at the team damage and team kills. The team damage is essentially the same. It was like 800 damage more on red team, which is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Out of 30,000 is 800 difference, but then in kills, it's like it's 79 to 52. So the focus fire must just be so much better on the compound. That's pretty interesting to me. Like that just goes to show that there must be a bunch of coordination issues on Xypher that they need to really just fix. Otherwise, they're just gonna get slowly outpositioned and outplayed.
Yeah, I think like the first 2 fights were like a great showcase of that, where they just try to commit themselves, take the initiative, and play aggressive, and it just did not work at all. And Compound was the ones getting all the kills off of their aggression. It took a long time to improve in some areas. It still wasn't enough in the end, obviously. So that needs to change very quickly. They need to just work on that focus fire. The only areas where it really worked was last, where they just continuously made life hard for the compound, because compound had so many more opportunities into last than Xypher ever did, really. And obviously, like, not even close to all of them worked in the end. Like, that's where it really shined, but that was just not enough.
That was Golly Wash. So now we're going to move on to Snakewater. And I would say that these two maps are pretty different. So I don't know if you want to try to see, like, which classes did you think did really well? And do you think we're going to see any like change in dynamic coming in here to Snakewater, which is a much slower and like bigger and longer map than Golly Wash?
Well, we've seen the heavy last map. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again. After LAN, the heavy on Snake is becoming so much more common across all divs I watched this season. It's actually crazy. I fully blame Seven on that one.
Yeah, it must be, right. It's actually been really interesting just how absolutely awful it has been in Prem so far.
Same
Like-
with product, actually, too. Like, those 2 maps where Seven started deploying it, people just realized, hey, this isn't so stupid. Why don't we do that? And, you know, people, especially Lordivs, obviously more versed in, like, dealing with more common strats, so it especially works in Lordivs, where if you put in the work to make it work for yourself, it's a lot harder for other teams to adapt.
Yeah, absolutely. And Heavy is just one of these things that are so much harder to deal with than it is to actually use. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It looks like there's going to be no heavy so far. Maybe they'll bust it out when they get desperate or something later on. But for now, it's going to be nothing much. The compound, of course, they won the first map. Let's see if they can carry on their good results here until the second map. As both teams, they're setting up here. They're gearing up for this the double sorted bomb. Here it comes. Xypher's going to bomb in very aggressive. Soldiers are super weak. Eventually they are going to go down, and Mac, he is still very healthy. Diggy is going to be pretty healthy as well, and now the rest of Xypher, they're just moving across the point as a unit, and there's just no way the compound can stand up to this, so they're just going to have to head out of there.
For sure, already a better start than the last map was. Let's see if they can carry the momentum forward here. Already taking position on second. Compound want to stay in here, but getting bombed early. Mac goes down for it, though second bomb comes in as well by Digi. Also denied Godmode, not letting anyone through to his medic at all. And it makes contesting second so much harder all of a sudden.
Yeah, it looks like the high ground's just going to be a bit too much here for Xypher. This was a pretty good push. I feel like they had a bit of momentum early on, but actually the Sorter comes in from the side. He had managed to just sneak his way through Saw. He gets the force off. Really great job there by Stan. So everything I was about to say is just nullified there. That was a really nice push in, and then it just didn't quite work out, and then it just walked out, losing nothing. Well, until they lost everything by losing their Uber. So now it's going to be Jorge who has this big Uber advantage. Max hiding in Saw, along with Lil Q as well. Nobody's actually going to go that way, but Storm runs into a pipe. That's going to definitely complicate things, and there's a double back cap going on. Lil Q just going to be the main capping force behind this, and everyone's in a really good position to actually block this from Xypher. And look at this, nobody's back to actually block anything. Senko has finally made it back there, but there's a scout. Okay, scout on last will also do that. So both scouts managed to block it out, but this second point does...
They get the force out on second as well. That's like the minimum of what you want here. If the force, if the backup doesn't get you around, at least get something else out of it. Force happens, but they're now hard pressed to leave mid even. There's so many people down, they need to escape if they can. And reconsidering they want to get some kills, but no, they eventually have to leave here. Close one, and in the end, Iliasu was the one that lost them that. He killed Storm on mid, and he was the one spawning on last.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be, like, as long as they survive that heavy pressure right there, they should be in a pretty good position, and they are now, so they have the Uber advantage. I want to point out that Fugazi is on a banner. He has been on a banner on most of the time so far, so that's probably just his thing. It will mean that he's pretty poorly optimized for jumping around a whole bunch, so he could get caught out. But it looks like the team has just been pressured out right now, and they almost have their own Uber, but they're going to decide against it. They could Uber in here and block the point, but it would probably not be a wise move, and so they're going to cleverly back off here and just get into a big stalemate, and they have the banner advantage. And this is the big advantage of running a banner, is that you just have this passive advantage building for you.
Let's see if it matters though. They clearly were able to make it work before. It is a conch this time, so it's only speed and a little bit of health if you land your shots. It's highly dependent on how you do yourself. Max sacking in.
Oh, what a
shot!
stalemate. Yeah, Mac got airshotted there by Fugazi. Really nice job by him. So not only did he protect his medic, he got a cool airshot and he built up onto banner. Good stuff. We have a pause here. It's Fugazi. He's about to jump into a sticky trap. Let's see what our blue demo man's like reaction skills are. Like, he's not looking at it. I think he's just like walking into the ammo to pick that up.
Yeah, probably.
He could definitely miss this. But man, does he just have like the best trigger finger in the West? It's what we're just waiting.
Or you like sneeze and accidentally hit mouse 2 on your mouse, and then happens to kill the guy.
Yeah, that would be pretty next level. Like that's a guy that's going to Prem if he does that. Like, I'd love for me to just randomly like that's kind of how I snipe. To be honest, like, I just go like achoo, and then I just swing my mouse around and I hope I hit.
That's what eye sniping looks like, to be honest.
Does it work?
No,
oh,
clearly not. But that's why I'm not on this server.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean,
when you hit right, it's so cool.
I guess, yeah, and you can just pretend like it was on purpose. Either way, one down right now. Is there anything else? I mean, it's always unfortunate if like you can't tell before the pause happens if somebody's like lagging out or anything. I guess before the game, Digi had like 300 ping for a few seconds, so that's what my guess is as to why the pause happens right now. But I'm as clueless as anyone else.
I'm gonna say it's Jorge who just dropped out because he has a full Uber, and that's just gonna be my guess on for that reason alone. But like my very first thought was, of course, also that we had a bunch of ping before we started the game. So hopefully, it's just him experience. Like he just needs to shout at his brother to get off the internet or whatever, because we're still living in the 90s and that's how internet works, right? Yeah.
Alright, I'm getting information that apparently it's Little Cute that died. Unlucky.
Oh,
I guess. I mean, we'll see how quickly after that happened. Either A, the compound is able to do something before the pause, or B, Xypher realizes themselves and pauses quickly. Because that could make all the difference if they just like lose one right now with Q down and Mag obviously also being dead right now. If something were to happen before they can pause, that makes a huge difference.
all right. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think the odds are that Fugazi survives this situation?
Pretty good, because he can just back out the other way, and Ilyasu has to like turn around right now while he's Wing into a pack and not looking at the door. Meanwhile, can just like go for window, I guess, and live and be fine. And even if eat a pipe on the way out, and there's no one close enough to chase him through choke either, so probably fine. Unless Ilyasu does the sickest flick into pressing S onto the ammo pack that he came in here for in the first place.
See, I just think he's gonna like maybe pipe him once and then surf a bunch, surf around a bunch, and then Azagul's just gonna run in and like kill him with a 22 damage shot, right? And the entire time, like Gona is just getting not Gona. Ilyasu's just gonna be like getting tanked by this medic, so I think there's a very high probability that this is an overextension by Fugazi and he doesn't know what he's getting himself into here. Because I think he's going to get through the sticky trap just fine, but I also think he's not going to get deaded. So you can't get out that way. And like trying to jump through the window is always super dangerous against Demo Man because that's just the easiest pipe ever. So I would just like putting down 10 E-bucks on that. I'm saying that he dies. You say he lives.
Sure, why not? Sounds good to me.
Yeah, your E-bucks will be mine.
Oh no.
All right. Okay, I didn't actually check the logs, but let's do a drop count for the medics here.
It must have been like 2-1, right? That's like the ones I remember anyway. I guess in favor of Jorge because he dropped less, I guess.
Yeah, it's 2-1. Mob dropped twice. Jorge dropped once.
There was the one in, what was it, Victor, I think, and then there was like what he traded, basically. Anyway,
Yeah.
Kayan lives getting in, trying to get out
Fugazi
now.
has, he's almost died, but he
Storm
didn't die.
actually comes in to escort him and almost dies on the way in himself. Everybody's so weak, Stan as well. Everybody just in Saw takes so much damage. Stan is the one in the end dying. So this all worked out. Godmode deep in committed as well. Can't land the shots in time though. So they couldn't act much up of the disconnect situation that's gonna happen any moment here.
Yep, you win 10 E-bucks. Soda gets launched into the skybox and looks like he makes it onto the medic. Hits a big rocket and Medic's actually going to get forced here. Jorge, not the Uber he was looking for, that's for sure, but he had to pop it. So now it's going to be a full Uber advantage for Mop. This is a prime drop territory for sure. But let's see if he can hold on to this and not screw up here. Like the entire team is up as well, so this should just be the perfect time to do an Uber. And it looks like they're gonna go in through the shutter door. Like they were looking like they were gonna go bottom, but they're eventually just gonna go in here through the shutter door. Gonna get in pretty deep as well. Put a scout onto the point. Demo Man's gonna stick you off the right side. They're actually not getting too much. Storm actually tries to jump out the way. Heavy's on the point. He's just gonna get chewed up by everyone. Just exploded. And the soldier does get a ton of work. It's actually only two players alive. It's going to be a medic and a demo man. This demo man's going to have to just be the greatest ever. He is not quite, and that's going to be that 1-0 in favor of Xypher.
I was ready to be really sad right there, because the moment they pushed in was when Q timed out. But it ended up not mattering. They just had to focus fire to make it work with 5 people anyway. never a situation you want to be in, but they made it work regardless, so that somehow worked out in their favor.
Yeah, that Jorge being forced there in upper lobby and just not being able to do anything. He just like stood around and Ubered alone and then like grabbed the demo man and they just looked at each other and walked back home. So that was really sad, and that's going to be a big Uber advantage. Mac with a big jump in here, gets taken down immediately, does get people a bit out of position, and the rest of the team are able to walk across the point, but they're not quite able to get all the ground that they were looking for. Jorge's going to survive the second scout aggression right now. Sorter, Diggy B is waiting for a med kick before he can go in. Jorge is still alive. Here comes Diggy B. He's going to be the last hope for his team. Gets the Sorter kill, but a nice piping going is going to finish him off.
Yeah, strong improvement by the compound on the defensive end here. Last time they just kind of got more or less walked over. At least they left early to not have major losses on the mid fight. This time, able to shut down things much more reminiscent of the first map, with a strong defensive mid to work out in their favor. Getting the medic on the way too. Able to play onto second, straight to last with this ad right now. You see a heavy end and a gun on last being set up, trying to hold this. Let's see if it's good enough. Xypher set the precedent. They don't even need 6 people. Let's see if 6 on compound is good enough for this last push here.
Yeah, there's no pyro on this map. That's not really something you see very often. Looks like they're going to go in right now. They spotted the stickies and everything. Going to take in the scout and a demo man. Demo man gets stopped actually, so he doesn't get the proper jump in. This sentry gun is still alive. The Sorter jumps into the sentry gun. This is not going well. The demo man almost going down to the heavy. He does eventually ending up going down. Uber is almost built as well. Scout not going to be able to retreat in time. Jorge will make it out alive with a scout, but that was a car crash of a push. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. Kane tries to catch somebody out lower, gets the better end of the fight against Mac, but still more people there to clean him up. Still, it's 5 up on each side here, and it's easy to get in sketchy fights and snake second if Compound were to commit here, at least 4-4s, but no, they want to play it safe right now. They want to get their Uber before they do dare anything else right now, so they give up the point to Xypher. Maybe even give them an opportunity to play with ad here, but it's such a small one at this point.
Indeed. It looks like they were at least thinking about it, and they're still thinking about it. They're just going to push in here. I think they have an advantage, but they just see a bunch of glowy red people, and they're just going to turn tails because that is not what you want to see. Sorter's actually going to do a really nice jump in there just to make everyone look up and go back out. So now Blue, they have so much advantage going for them here, but the Sorter comes in from the side. That's going to pull everyone else to the other side. Mac in from the high ground, though, does a ton of damage, and that might just be enough. We have 2 buff scout just doing their absolute best here for Xypher to try and hold this off.
Ooh, stand from window! No one saw him coming at all. In the midst of a messy fight that he expected to be a standmate when he spawned, I would assume, to just snipe in peace, but he had to just be the saving grace for his team there. That was a really sketchy fight, and it all came down to just one little shotgun, and now suddenly mobs down, big ad, pretty much full ad for Jorge. Still, they have to make it happen with a sniper, which can be awkward, but if they practice this enough, this can still work all the better.
You often see teams actually push in through the left side when they have a sniper, because you can just get your sniper in so deep that he just gets a ton of free shots in. And you just push that way, but you can also just put him in like drop down or whatever. But it looks like they are actually going to go in through this left side. Really nice decision here. They're going to be closer to the sentry gun as well, but actually they didn't spot him quite in time. The scout takes a lot of damage from it. Demo man's in deep as well. Didn't get flashed, but might not have needed to. The heavy is still alive though. Scout have put quite a bit of time onto the point. Sorter's going to jump in aggressively, takes down the medic. No more heals for Blue. Sorter goes down on the point. Demo man's super weak. Heavy goes down. Just going to be the 1 demo against 2. Actually 3, never mind. 4 make that. That's going to be 1-to-1 here. The compound equalizing things.
Yeah, looks like the sniper just worked out fine regardless. They just calmed down a little bit and just actually focused fire much better than last time to make this work without one actual DM class missing in this fight. So compound back in it 2 times in a row. They had last push opportunities. The second one is the one that works. Maybe sets good precedence for the rest of the matches. The second mid fight also was a lot better for them.
Yeah, let's hope for them that they can keep that up. The last time around, they just managed to take down Mac immediately. He's going to do another big jump in here. Does actually back off as he does it. Diggy B was not really in a position to jump either as well. He might just come in for round 2, and the scout as he gets popped into the air. Lil Q being super weak, but both teams just standing back right now, just not committing, just unwilling to be the first one across that line of the middle. Looks like Storm's going to be the first one, and he just immediately dies. Sort of try to back him up, but yeah, he goes down as well. Stan also tries to jump behind, he goes down. Elias was in super deep, he will survive as well. And Yeah, this is just a matter of can they actually retreat in time. It looks like the answer is going to be yes for now. DKB could potentially go for the play, but he decides to stay on mid. So mid win so far for Xypher, but they lost their mid.
Yeah, and again, it just comes down to both teams trying to outslow each other on mid. Well, neither team, like you said, wanted to commit at all. In the end, it came down to one player getting past everything to get the medic here to make the big difference. And it just gives them mid, like you said, for free. They just quickly retreat on Xypher, not wanting to risk anyone's life here. Still only have 50% on their own medigun, so they still have some work to do here before they can catch up. And in the meantime, Jorge and Gang just push over grass and take space away from them.
This is where Snakewater can be a bit tricky because it's actually really difficult to get
Back
in
with the high bomb, he misses the first rocket, he doesn't connect the second one either. Had so much time to land these shots, but it weren't easy ones with how much distance he had to cover there. Unlucky for him, and now it's just one pick for the compound into last.
And they're just going to Uber in immediately right now. Before the Uber can come in, Rob's on 95%. He's pretty weak in spawn. He barely does manage to get it in time though. So their Uber going to be better, but happily lost too many players. Looks like this is not over yet. This sword is doing so much damage, but he does eventually get taken down. Medic goes down as well. So if they retreat now, they could retreat, but it looks like they just want the point. There'll be 2 scout and a medic against a demo man. They're actually failing so hard. I think they boosted so hard. No. What?
They were way too confident in that one. They just thought it was over the moment there was only Yasun. They didn't look at spawns. Stan coming in late, trying to rid his teams of the mistakes they just committed, but it's way too little, way too late, and that was in no way something that Xypher should have been allowed to hold, but the compound pretty much done it to themselves here.
I am shocked at the complete lack of shit talk in chat. Like, this would be the time to talk shit and throw binds, but no, Xypher, they're just playing. They're just happy to have survived, I guess.
No, Xypher is just toxic in secret, and the compound already got their major warning, so they can't afford to get another one.
Oh, okay, so that's it. They're just gonna have to enter their mumble or something. Never mind. But yeah, it's gonna be even Ubers right now. Senko actually goes on Sniper, so he's gonna try to see if he can find an angle here on this right side. He's gonna find a respawn queue instead. Not gonna see anything work there. Where was that sticky trap? Did the sticky just go like punched into him? That might have been the case. And it's actually Asical on Sniper as well, so he's gonna take down the soldier. And this could be very dicey.
Commits for never sack, hits the rockets this time around. Jorge will use nothing much happening outside of that right now. As you said, the Sniper tried to commit, still in too deep to escape here, 2 down with this. Could be sketchy in terms of a counter force here. The gun is still up, Storm finds out where it is for the rest of the team. Trying to make something happen with this, but they still have to get past everybody else on last.
They want to force this medic, and Mob, he's only surrounded right now by 3 friendly players, but that Sentinel did a lot to actually slow down the enemy team. So it did go down, but it didn't matter too much. So now we're in this very uncomfortable situation where you have the advantage, but you're pushing out of Snakewater last, and it's only about 50% advantage that they had to work with to begin with here. So this could be a very hairy situation. It actually looks like sort of just hiding around the corner. It's going to be enough, and he hasn't died yet, so he's going to be behind lines. They have to deal with him as well. Looks like AC will jump into him. Actually, almost gets pickaxe down.
Ooh, but this could be a classic cap trap scenario where blue team just really wants to cap and overextend. So far, they're at least getting enough kills to make this even, but it still looks like Compound is getting away with at least committing to second and getting the cap back in their favor, so it's not a complete disaster, but it's pretty much the expected outcome if you get forced early on snake seconds like this.
Yeah, there's been a bit too much time just chasing down that soldier. It's funny how sometimes, like when a single soldier just gets behind, you just need to deal with him, because otherwise, I mean, he's just going to run to last and cap it, right? Like, you just get scared of that. So they were just down a player or 2 extra, and they didn't manage to cap second in time. So now it's going to be another stalemate. We have a spy in spawn, I assume just checking off classes. He will find none so far. And they're just making sure to build properly right now. And it's a 1-1 game as well. We're about halfway through. So this is a good time to breathe and just really talk things over. What should we do? How should we play this out? So what do you think we could expect here?
I mean, we've seen Xypher take some opportunities of last, but they were very selective about how much of an advantage they want when committing to the second push. So I would imagine, like you said, that this will be a bit of a long haul here, so trying to see what they can do. Maybe hope Xypher messes up first, and they're certainly trying to make some moves happen. Everybody takes so much spam, K and the one and only one getting through the door in the end. At least also the only one dying. but it can always be a bait to just have one person down and hope they commit way too deep into second here.
Fugazi going a little bit into deep and not able to get out in time. Maybe this is going to be a good opportunity for him to go for a bandit, but Stan jumps in very aggressively, gets taken down like in this upper lobby, and the scout as well in the lower lobby. All of a sudden, they're down like 2 to 3 players. Uber has been forced. His medic is finally getting forced as well. Jorge is going to just chariot a scout into this, but that's going to be that. Everyone's just happy to get the Ubers out of the way. It seems Digby has actually made his way in behind. He's just going to be a nuisance. But there's so little pressure from the rest of the team that I don't think this is going to matter too much.
Yeah, he got spotted way too early by Godmode as well. And both medics having the unfortunate circumstance to be forced really early before properly committing, so no team could really chase with this. Still, Compound take the opportunity with one player advantage here to just bust open the right side door, getting a lot of damage onto Mag, trying to get in with this. Stan can't really commit though, and everybody else just desperately looking to find an opening.
They found the opening, they get one good rocket onto the medic, but that's not going to be quite enough. Now they just need to get out of there, and Storm will not manage to make the exodus there. So they're going to be 2 players down. Well, they're 1 player down overall. So this is probably going to be good enough, but Sorter could definitely sneak his way through. Asigal takes a big fight right now, and he's not dead. Yeah, that's some ultimate life form stuff right there. Doesn't die, but the Eliezer actually goes down. So that's the demo man down. It's going to mean that it's very easy to go in through here. And they're just going to immediately get the sentry down. It is not long for this one. Standing double air shot by DuMmTm. See you later, buddy. Medic's in vision with deep here, so Jorge will be forced to pop. The Uber will be better. So what are they going to do? There's this heavy and spawn just pelting people down. Sorta gets just completely shut down. Looks like he's somehow not dead. Okay, finally going to get caught in here. Heavy is able to get 2 kills. And Jorge is going to be the only survivor of that push. Stan died so early, he's actually going to be able to pick up his medic there. So a nice job there by Jorge actually getting out. But not a perfect push, but they did get the medic.
Yeah, it really felt like a case of 6 people shooting the medic, while the other 5 on the blue team were just busy killing the guys going for the medic. So it's just like resources being much better managed in some ways by Xypher, but still gives add to Hawthorne with surviving here. So that might just be good enough. Cap has been gotten on second, but obviously it's just a matter of time until they are forced to retreat off the disadvantage on the Ubers here.
A bit unfortunate that Xypher weren't able to get proper heals going, because in that case they would have actually been able to contest second before Ubers came into play. But now Ubers going to be a thing, and they're going to go in through this right side. Soda's actually doing a pretty good job of just juggling things around and being a...
How did she live? He just stood
know.
in shutter in front of everybody, and somehow it means that everyone else on red team dies except for him. Eventually goes down, but now it's just a counter chase. Blue team through lower, trying to get the kills they can. Kayan going down, Stan and both weak, yet again the only survivors on this. But the Compound's last push is just not looking too hot anymore.
Yeah, there's a bit of shades of Gollywog right now, where they were just really struggling with these last pushes. Really nice arrow onto Stan there, but Jorge not gonna quite be able to save his soldier despite his good arrows there. It's just a bit too much firepower going on. It's going to be a full advantage for Mob. Let's see where they decide to go from. Looks like it's going to be through the saw area. There are no stickies really, and no soldiers in a good position to drop in on them. So the faster they go, the better. The soldier will do his best. He gets chewed down real quick. Jesus, he just disappeared from the server. And everyone else now from the common just going to have to get out of there, otherwise they die. Case in point, Senko.
Yeah, Godmode overcommits way too much, trying, I think, to help out Stan getting out in the first place, but just baiting himself in the process. It's not too bad, it's still 1 down each. Basically, Compound having to deal with this early push down means they have to commit a little bit more aggressively here. Still, it's even Uber, they have to save of the Uber themselves to work with, and off the threat of that, looks like Xypher does not want to commit to this too much, and just let it come down to a little bit of a stalemate here. But again, something needs to happen eventually, and it's Digi jumping in.
Gets 1 good rocket, the second one sadly missing, but a good try there. Like he like weaved his way through so many players. That is kind of impressive to me. But it's just going to be a bit of a fight down there in lower grass area, and actually 2 players go down. So now this should definitely open up the entire area at this bottom grass area. Mac, I'm just waiting for him to jump in. He has just walked his way in super far. I think he just missed where the medic was. He actually jumped in behind them right now. So he's just going to be this spam coming from the alternate angle. He just gets taken down. A bit unfortunate. Not going to be able to lock off the medic, but the medic will get forced out by the scout here. So Asical doing his really best job of just running around and doing so much work. And look at that. Mob not even under pressure. Really good play there by some scouts and some soldiers going in there. It worked out really well for them.
Yeah, that's all, like you said, worked out just fine to get the point here. And the advantage as well of, like you said, Ace just able to sneak past everybody to get the forward while they're distracted with everyone else pushing forward. And the player behind gives them another shot at last with one down as well.
Uber comes in. They just Uber through the door even though there was nothing there. So that's a bit unfortunate. They haven't actually found anything to shoot at, and they haven't put time on the point either. So this push is looking a little bit dicey. Actually, they just fan out and use perfect focus fire. And that's going to be 2-1 for Xypher. They want to go to a third map real bad here, DuMmTm.
Yeah, the conversion rates on the last pushes are so heavily skewed in their favor. They were on Kali already quite a bit, but I think at this point we're like close to full to 1 in like, what, 4 maybe for the compound in comparison that worked. The strengths of these teams are very much open to see here, and it just matters right now that, that Storm's team, the compound, gets more opportunities again.
Looks like we've had actually one red soldier just go behind the compound, has one soldier behind. He's not doing anything, but these mids have been pretty passive, so I think he's just waiting for his opportunity. First soldier jumps in, second soldier comes now in from behind. He manages to get nothing. These scouts have just been shutting everything down for Xypher, so they are just looking dominant on this mid. And yeah, this scout, he just tries to get out of Storm, is not going to be able to make it. Actually, both scouts going down, so what a mid here from Xypher.
Yeah, really interesting how this all went down, and in the end they can carry on momentum quite nicely from mid to second. Not enough people up. Last time Compound was able to just quickly commit, but this time, like you said, the Storm and Godmouth died really late, so they're not even up for this commit at all for second, and need to just sit this one out for second and to deal with blast.
Oh, the soldier gets launched. Everyone's trying to go for the air shot. He actually makes it all the way onto the medic, but not quite going to be able to do it there. He just surfed those stickies so far into the skybox, and like I just thought he was about to get alphied, but no, he survives, and he actually makes it onto the medic there to get a nice rocket off, but he was obviously pretty weak from the stickies as well. So yeah, we've got a sniper in Senko on the defensive team. Looks like Lil Cute's gonna just suicide in there. Maybe he wants to play sniper himself. Like, they're definitely in a position. Maybe we'll finally see the heavy again that we've been so deprived of.
See what happens here. At the moment it's red team with the sniper pushing up, trying to make some space, but gonna take so much damage straight away. It looks like this will all come down to a sniper fight here. Goatmount and Lil Cute both on sniper. Compound obviously needs some opening at the blast, whereas Xypher can take this at more relaxed. Lil Cute doesn't even need to commit that aggressively or take as many risks as his red counterpart, because they can just clock down time here and be very content with that, while Compound has to be impatient and stand picking up the spy yet again. Last time got spotted straight away. This time at least gets in beforehand, so they don't quite play around it yet.
Step 1, don't bump into people. Step 2, wait for a distraction. Step 3, don't fuck up. Just get in there and wait for the medic to be distracted and have its back turned to you. So he is just playing CCTV right now, just sitting on top of this roof, but which is also conveniently placed behind everyone. So now we just wait, and like, at some point he's gonna have to do something, right? Because Xypher, they can just sit back here and let time run out. Oh,
ooh, there we go. He beeps actually. The sniper's the one that gets the kill. That was bizarre, but I guess it still worked out in the end. Sure,
I
why
mean, they
not?
got the pick. Yeah, that was pretty funny. The sniper literally sniped him before he could get backstabbed, so the spy just stood there.
I guess I have to
nowhere.
do it myself.
Like, I imagine this is what it's like to like drop your pants in front of everyone. It's like, oh no.
Well, either way, it just ends in a 1-for-1 trade, which really doesn't amount much to anyone or anyone. So it's just a reset, and the sniper's back on the field for both sides, trying the hardest can, jumping in as well. Seeing Mob in the corner gets a lot of damage, but just can't land on the high ground and can't get the final shot off that he actually had the time for as well, just landing down there, looking sad up on the high ground, standing where Mob is.
I think Xypher are just looking to camp this out. Like, this is pretty early to start this. 5 minutes is a long time, especially if you're just trying to do nothing. But it is a sniper v sniper situation, so if people overextend, that you can just like rotate your sniper in and stay relatively safe and have him just do work. So I quite like this. You can definitely play it slow, and Like, just let that advantage tick up on its own, get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and especially on Snakewater last, this is such a powerful position to be in. We were discussing his reaction time. Looked like it's not quite there. Had the opportunity to dead on somebody, but yeah, like this is such a good position to be in. It's so easy to make mistakes out of last. Stan's taking an opportunity all alone. Single sack is probably as much as you should there right now on this last hold.
Alright.
Oh,
the
he
one
gets sniped.
open. And they just weren't ready for it. This is like the one area where the sentry gun doesn't cover, is the shutter door. And there you go. The medic has gone down. Mag will die to a sniper in return, but the demo man gets taken down. The sentry gun is down as well. They are in a really good position to put time on the point. They're going to put the scout on it immediately. He actually gets taken down. No more Uber there to save him. But it has fought everyone to get onto it. They can be super healthy on the point. Gonna get eventually taken down. Both soldiers come in here. And the Pyro as well. Looks like they will be able to get onto it. Mop goes down to Fugazi. Gets pickaxe down. The sniper's going to survive on like 10 HP. He's going to slowly heal up with the backpack. And Max in. I think he might have been...
Oh, he actually did it!
But he did
the point, and Gunnar couldn't get back in time. I was about to say, that's the difference between these two teams. One team made the sniper last push work. All it took was one sniper shot being hit on the last push for the compound. And Cute couldn't land the shot until it's too late. But the Mag, just being the points all he is, just finds the opening regardless.
He's so good at doing his backcaps. He did it on Goliath as well. Alright, Gona has like the worst rollout ever. Good thing for him at Snakewater where it's not like the most important thing. But he even takes some damage here from some stickies early on as well. So small advantage right now for Xypher on this mid. But here comes the double soldier bomb. They pop the demo man into the air and then they just both make it in behind lines, and DuMmTm has gone down as well. So this is in a very precarious situation right now for Xypher. Here comes the soldier in from behind lines. Nice serve from the medic. Gonna just get everyone nice and weak. But here comes the second soldier from behind, and that might just be enough to do it. Second medic goes down as well, however. Acicle does clutch it out in the end, but it's still 4-0 for the mid.
Yeah, in the end though, all Xypher has to do is play time. They already did, and the fact that they got around off of playing slow like that just before is actually so powerful right now. 2.5 minutes is enough time to make the comeback happen, but it's gonna be so hard, and the fact that the scouts fed late for the medic and was successful with that makes such a big difference. Now there's so little momentum into last right now for the compound to make this quick round happen.
Yeah, they can't afford to wait for Uber. They just need to get a bunch of buffs and then just go. And yeah, there's a sentry going up. It's currently only level 2, but that can still hurt a whole bunch. They're going to go into this right side. Soda gets denied by an air shot, but they did manage to dislodge the Soda from the high ground. Stan, however, goes down to Mac with the big bomb and gets completely destroyed by a second soldier. And oh my god, Stan. Okay, he got air shot so hard he actually just did. Got off the server.
From the server. And at least this was the maneuver push, so it's not like they wasted an advantage for this, but at the same time, they don't have just that, no time at all here. This needs to happen, like, now, basically, to have a chance.
Yeah, they're going to make it in here, and the counter Uber, unfortunately, is just going to come in and just shut it down. The sentry gun's still up, the heavy is up. That's 2 sentries, basically, just waiting for them to jump into it, and they are just waiting. Both soldiers just spamming on this right side. And actually, Scout does manage to make it in pretty far. Storm doing a lot of work, but yeah, I think this is just pretty much impossible. They're trying their best. I'll give them that, but eventually they just bleed out. There's just too much beef and raw HP on this last point for them to actually properly make it in.
Yeah, and again, like these last push differences are so massive between these two teams. Well, like I said, on Gully it was still there, but on this map it's such a bigger difference in favor of Xypher. And Compound, it just looks like they keep running into a wall. They only got away with it once, and that took a full ad already to make happen. So last chance it is to at least make this a 3-2, get some momentum rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, they might actually get a point here. Mop didn't quite have his own Uber yet. He's on 97, desperately trying to get things, but yeah, it's going to make it a lot closer. It's going to be 3-2. It's still over. But that could actually be a nice little bit of a momentum going out here at the end of it. Mop dying on 97 always feels bad. And, you know, if you can make your opponents feel bad, That's it's good. That's a small win in my book, at least.
And if you get a major warning for shit talk, then you probably do just that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, the momentum I think is really important right now. The compound certainly has people who can get tilted, so it really comes down to how well Storm has leading his team, not just like gameplay wise, but also mentality wise, to overcome that sort of weakness some players just have. And obviously, this match it was over pretty much immediately that last round happened. It's such a hard coming to make realistically, but they need to keep at it for this last map here.
We've had 2 matches so far. They both won by very little in terms of points. So it's really anyone's game. But looking at these logs, looks like Fugazi took a step back. He died a bunch more. It doesn't surprise me too much. This is a very different map. And instead, we had Asical just stepping up. He went 33 for 9. That's super good. That's 3-1 KD plus 3.7 to be exact, and almost a 5k AD when you count assists as well. Then Gona.
Oh yeah, actually, wow. Yeah, it's really surprising, like you said, Kane just taking the backseat now on the pocket roll. Like last map where he took the most hits, almost 30%, this time pretty much double roam up, more or less, with 15 and 18 each. Massive playstyle shift. Maybe that alone makes a huge difference for the team, just having to massively shift like how the combo plays every certain situation. It arguably makes sense on the map like Snake, which is a lot more space you have to cover compared to Gullywash, where you can just afford to waddle a lot more and let other people take the reign in terms of playing fast forward for you instead as a Solly. But still, it clearly was not the answer they needed here, and the mids were okay, but after that it got a lot more troublesome and closer on any other point, and last was the huge difference maker.
Alright, I have a theory that I want to run by you. Alright? And that is that the compound soldiers are better compared to the other two. And for that reason, Granary is going to go to the compound because their soldiers are going to pound on this map. How's my theory?
I don't know. It could come true. It could come down to like how these situations are going to be played out. I think if it's a fast game at all, like if the momentum just starts rolling whatsoever, it's going to be much better for the compound with how it's been going whenever there was a lot of momentum. Because whenever Xypher was successfully finally adapting to just outslowing them, which took a long time on Gully and much less time on Snake, it was looking quite nice for them. They played these teammates a lot better over all these slower situations. I think if you remember back to Gully, there was the one point where DGB did what he does best, which is just stand around the corner and wait somebody to peek and then just spam them down completely. And that's something certainly you can do on this map in a lot of certain situations on the map, like on the second point, just wait around the corner on the point and just catch people by surprise. So these sort of like slow situations where they can catch them unaware, I think are going to be good for Xypher.
Oh, I think we're about to see a heavies duel. No, okay, they're actually going to be nice. But did they actually change colors? Like they're talking about trolling us. I hope they decide.
I remember at the beginning of the first map, Storm in the chat says we are red team. So I think that's consistent so far.
Yeah, they are. They are going to still in red. All right, thank God we don't. That would be just so annoying and confusing. So, well, thank God they decided not to do that. But I was kind of hoping that we were going to see a heavy fistfight duel. Just that would spice up this whole affair a whole bunch, in my opinion. It would have been nice. No such luck. But what are your thoughts on this Granary map? What do you think we're going to see here?
It's gonna be probably a really slow game. Like I said, Compound needs the momentum in most situations to get away with it, but it's grand. It's gonna be hard to get that, so they're gonna have to fight for it. As for the mids, I'm gonna be curious to see how it goes. You could be perfectly right with your assumption that Solis make a big difference here, and overall, the aggressive part on the mid phase has been better for Compound, so they have an inherent advantage in that regard. It just comes down to how Xypher deals with it and how quickly they do. Because, like I said on Gully, that took much too long to Snake what has happened right away.
Yeah, it seems like the compound are better at playing in chokes, if that makes any sense. It's like when they can slow things down, play around chokes, spam things, build banners, just slow things down a bit. and then just control the battle to their liking, they do a lot better. And like Granary has a bunch of really nice chokes. You gotta admit, like second point, second to mid, last point not so much. But I think it might just be enough. But quick score prediction out of you before we go to this first mid.
Mac is gonna back up.
Mac's gonna back. Okay, I'll take that. I'm gonna go with Mac's not gonna get another back heavy in the rest of his entire life. All right, both demos make it into mid. They're both gonna go catwalk. Looks like Eliezer's gonna drop to the ground pretty early on, but he's actually done a lot of damage to Gona. And Diggy B is gonna jump in very aggressively. Dislodges that scout from the high ground, so he's in a very powerful position. And now you have so many people standing in the corner for the compound. They need to make their way out of that, but here comes this big soldier. He's going to punish them for it. Yeah, everyone just going down. Diggy, he's super weak on the high ground. He does get taken down. It's actually a 3-on-3 battle, but the Aeskill wins the scout 1v1, and that's going to be the end of that mid. Boy, he's going to take his storm cab and get out of there.
Yeah, that was a really close call. They lost Max so early. He was just trying to catch somebody unaware around the crater on the corner. Couldn't do so. They lost the Solly early, and like you said, they were stuck in the corner for a long time on the compound, but there was no one able to jump into it because of the Roma loss early on, and DGB not being willing to commit into that. But it ended up working out. He hit the rockets from the high ground to make the difference regardless, and it gives them a little bit of space to work with onto second or into yard, but maybe not quite enough. Ace getting stickied out as well. Huge just barely surviving. Chance has been taken unsuccessfully. Back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted to commit really hard there, and then they got like halfway in, and the scouts, they were all in, man. They were like, let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. And everyone's just like, nah. And
and Eden gets airshot once, mob serves around, but so many people are in through choke regardless. They just all double down on it. Maybe a bit too much. They get the force in the end. Comes down to how much they lose here, and at the moment, 2 for 1 isn't too bad.
Yeah, DGB is gonna eat a big pipe, so he's pretty much caught in. He's just dancing around with his stick. He eventually gets taken down. And this is pretty much a situation where I feel like neither team can properly push, but the compound, they don't care. They're gonna try anyway. He's gonna jump into 2 scouts and a soldier. And the second scout has actually made it onto the medic here. He gets taken down. Nice rocket there from Stan. He's gonna take him down. And what do you know? I don't know what I'm talking about. They get this mid just fine.
Yeah, they've taken it nice and slowly, and it worked out like they intended. Now they just need to keep the ball rolling, like I said, to get all the last push opportunities they can get, because if anything so far has been shown, they need a lot of those, unfortunately. So better start early.
Yeah, they have this small Uber advantage to work with, but they need to move quickly in order to use it, and this is not a good place to use it. This second point, it's so hard to jump in and cover a lot of distance when you Uber in. You basically hit the ceiling or a pillar or something like that very quickly, and so they're just not even gonna try. Like basically the only thing you can do with an Uber in the second point is to Uber in a demo and a scout, and just hope the demo man sticky things out.
It spammed down so quickly. They just aggressed a little bit and things kept dying straight away. Not a big commit at all, and it just worked brilliantly regardless. 2 down right now with no proper hold. It's gonna be really sketchy.
Yeah, they're putting pressure onto the point, and here comes the Uber in. First it's going to be pop on Xypher. So here comes the counter Uber. Actually, Aeskill goes down. He was on heavy. And double players on the point, and that's going to be that. First mid, and last point, more importantly, goes to the compound.
Yeah, you commended the coordinated spam and such in stalemate situations, where I was a little bit more skeptical about it, but it works out just fine for now. They caught Xypher unaware, caught them slipping once, can't afford to have that happen again if they want to have a chance in this. But for now, it is Compound in the lead, able to dictate the pace of the game.
Looks like one demo man goes top, the other one goes bottom. Neither one really hits a whole lot. It's going to be about which soldier goes in first. DGB puts a pressure onto the left side, but doesn't commit yet. Looks like he's going to do a big sky bomb. And here comes his second soldier as well. So both Mac and DGB are just in very quickly, and the soldier tries to go behind, but he's not going to make it in there. So that worked out super well, it looks like, for Xypher.
Yeah, you were right about your theory with the stalemates, but you were certainly not correct about the mid-fights at all. The Soldies on blue are just dictating the pace of the game on the mid-fights, much more so than Stan and Cayenne on the other side, which is really surprising because the aggression on mid has been so far much better for them, but looks like this just suits the other 2 guys, DGB and Mac, a lot better right now. Getting Stan pick on the way as well, caught out in Lunchbox. Nice pick to have to work with.
This is really dangerous. Soda gets onto the make. He's going to get a force 100%. Diggity, nice jumping. He might even make it out alive. No, not quite. Soda does come in to clean him up, but he got exactly what he wanted. And Mop's going to be in a prime position here to just use in if he so wants to. They might even try to go in through left side and just not use at all. Like, the big problem is you often have to like use through the point, but no one's on the second point at all. So good thing they didn't do a blind pop. So they're going to actually get to use the Uber for the last point. And hopefully for them, they're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, looks like we get to see if more precedence from the last maps is going to just be negated if Compound can hold this last point, where previously the conversion rate into last on the other two maps has been pretty good for Xypher. At the moment, they're taking their sweet time. Roche close to having it. You really need picks either on him or everything else.
Demoman jumps into this heavy. The heavy hasn't really taken a lot of damage. The Sentrygun is being repaired. They sunk like 500 damage into that. And now there's going to be this heavy on the high ground. Medic is super weak, getting slowly spammed down. But the heavy has been taken down. Jorge is on like 95%. Barely manages to save his Scout, but everyone else has gone out. Actually, the demo gets dropped from Uber as well. Scout does manage. Okay, Jorge even getting a kill as well. But can Lil Q get it? Otherwise, it's just going to be Storm killing everyone. Actually, Lil Q takes down one player. Can he get the medic as well? He gets the medic as well, but the soldier comes in just in time. Fugazi saves the day. But what a close fight here, DuMmTm.
This is one of those situations where it just infuriates me that people use pistols instead of just reloading. But it is what it is. They at least got the medic kill. They got another chance, and they got really fortunate already to begin with by just getting this many people off the beam caught off guard in the midst of this Uber fight.
It's going to be actually a bit of an Uber advantage here for Mop. I don't think he's on Crits Creek. He is not. Alright, but they should know about it, right? Like, Mop did the good play again of dying early, so he should know that he has the Uber advantage, and I think a dot push is in order right now, and they are in a good position to do it as well. They're just going to Uber in this demo man. He's going to jump in super aggressively. Actually gets the medic into the air, so Jorge was in a bad position for a very long time. Sentrygun has been spammed down by the soldier as well. The second soldier's going to come in very aggressively, but he's completely alone. Like, the blue team there just taking the entire right side of this point. Looks like soldier's not going to be quite able to get onto it. Sticky has been blown on the point, and there's so much pressure, and nobody can actually get onto it in time, and that's going to be that. The dot push works out for Xypher 1-1.
Yeah, pretty clean, standard push for the most part, just figuring out what they need to shoot, where Gun took a little while, but they got the Angie basically as a bonus pick with it as well, seeing as he was still busy building it up close front wall, instead of back at spawn where you have just the opportunity to stay alive much easier. So all worked out just fine in the second time around, and it stays a close game with 22 minutes left.
Neither demo manages to hit a hole, but let's see if BB and Mac can actually repeat their success on these mids. They've been having some really good bomb-ins here, where they don't like quite commit in, but they just end up on the high ground. So here comes the first jump in, kind of backs off, but no, Mac gets completely destroyed by Fugazi. Stan's going to take down Asico as well. DGB actually goes in onto the medic. He gets the medic. That's a really important pick. So Mop, as long as he can get out of here alive, they're in a good position to at least hold on to second, or at least retake second.
Yeah, this is certainly important right now. We saw on the last map already how important just the medic surviving what the other one doesn't can be to make the big comeback difference for the mid-fight. Stan hiding though up top, and looking up is not everybody's specialty in this game, but they catch wind of it quickly enough. So they won't get punished for that. Still Sticky's on the shutter door, and on Z actually as well, around the corner. Ooh, blind dead, that does not quite work out for Gunner. People not quite going the way of the crates there. Really unfortunate, gives them opportunity to play into mid here.
Well, see, they need to get their medic through. This is always so nerve-wracking. You can just have spam come raining down. It looks like they will be able to get his stand stayed in a bit too long. He was just dilly-dallying about, just spamming a bit too much, trying to pad his stats. He just gets punished immediately. And they have actually made their way in. Fugazi, he needs to be very careful as well. Looks like he just does sniff out the danger in time. So they're going to have to hold inside here, and they should definitely be able to get the Uber in time to hold the second.
Ooh, Mac flexes on people as well, doing the drop-down jump successfully in only 2 tries. So he's in lunchbox already, which doesn't make much of a difference, because they gave it to them for free regardless, but it's the 4th that counts. And at least his team got yard for free, so you've got to see the positives here. While they're trying to make their way to next round here, to the second round, to the lead in this match.
I will just point out that I have never ever successfully done that drop down push or jump. It's It's so difficult, and I just like immediately went, this is dumb. Just never gonna try. So yeah, I'm impressed. If nothing else, they're actually holding pretty aggressively in the left yard right now, which makes me think that they might go in there. And Stan is holding pretty close, or at least he was for a time. They missed the opportunity to pick him off, but this is the kind of positioning you'd have if you were planning to take both soldiers in through lunchbox and then try and see if you can catch out the soldier.
Alright, let's see. Mac trying to skip over the point. Doesn't spot Roche in time, being in the high ground, caught him unaware instead of the standard spot in front of right side shutter. So couldn't adapt fast enough. A little bit of counter aggression by the compound. Roche ends up having to use and actually flashes off in the midst of the Uber to die.
He died in the middle of an Uber? Alright, Fugazi is kind of behind lines. Yeah, he just dropped down, and nobody spotted that. So he could come in and kill 5 people here as they all stand on point. Looks like that's not going to be the case. He might get the scout though. Yeah, gets a good first rocket. Oh, doesn't get the second one. That's unfortunate. So second point will not get delayed. There's a sentry gun going up, but I don't think it's in a very good position. And the point is being pressured quite a bit right now. Xypher, they're going to pop you. We'll take down the demo man. That's going to be a second round for Xypher. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Jorge there. That was weird.
Sometimes I guess you just don't even need the spy class to have a double agent in the game, and that is very much a freebie going to Xypher here.
That's gotta be tough. Like losing a round like that. Like I will say the rounds that the compound have lost have all been absolute, like, just tragedies. Oh,
Eliasu
no, Kona takes down Eliasu. That's it. It's over. It's overdone.
I mean, if there's one thing you can use to get back into a match quickly, it's just the immediate, like, frame 1 demo kill on the mid fight. Getting back on top of things just speeds up things even more. Carrying this all the way deep into second. Just don't want to let things escape at all, and Digi certainly doesn't, and they want to keep up the pressure right now.
They are in on last already. And Mob is in spawn. It's on 85%. He's gonna need to get out of there, but Eliasu, he tries and he just gets taken down. The soldier has just positioned himself on top of the crate right now, and already time on the point. Here comes the first Uber. Popped actually on both teams, and the demo man has gone down Gona, so he's going to be a key piece of this. Nice rocket there. Soldier's on the point, May's on the point, and what? That was just so much pressure, and they just immediately take the round back in record time, Dom.
Oh, maybe sometimes you just need to throw to get everybody back into shape. Maybe that's what his thought process was all along here. Maybe that's just what they needed. Just realize, oh, well, now we really have to try, and maybe everybody's in it now.
Maybe, and you know, Eliasu's probably also going to be pretty uncomfortable on this bit. He immediately eats another stick. Oh, no!
Again!
That's the second time in a row. He just gets completely destroyed by Gona. Gona is the greatest. And they are just surging forward. It looks like we actually see Xypher. They're trying to hold this yard right now.
But they're taking so much damage, Roche on 10 HP. They just need a little bit more. Nothing is connecting though. But Compound is stuck to this position. They can't escape easily right now. As long as Compound keeps taking damage here, it's really going to be tough. They just spread out as much as they can, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, Azagal, he's going to rush down this soldier. Like, Mop is on 30 HP. He's going to have to sling out of there. Looks like he will do so. But he's going to be very vulnerable. He can get forced very easily right now. And the Azagal has actually been dropped as well. Just going to be the demo man and the medic. Plus 3 spawners. That's going to be important. There's going to be a big old fight. So much time on the point, though. Like, the point pressure was just enough, and they just took it. That's going to be 3-2. And that's a second round in very quick succession.
I stand by what I said. Maybe Jorge just took one for the team and transferred all that here onto Eliasu maybe. And just losing the demo early every time just doesn't even let them fight on mid at all.
Pretty next level stuff. Let's see if Gona can kill Eliasu for the third time in a... But no. Eliasu just goes bottom this time. He's had enough. But he's not going to die immediately, so we actually have a proper mid-fight on our hands. And so far, nothing happened, but here comes the big skybox jump, and actually Mac's going to stand up on the balcony, but that's not going to be quite enough. He's just up on the lamp. So both soldiers have gone down, and looks like that's going to be that. neither soldier really able to connect with a whole lot of rockets, and everyone else is just going to get out of here from Xypher.
Yeah, it looks like it didn't make too much of a difference. Something clicked for the compound. They found an answer right now, and they will take it all the way back to 2 seconds, trying to keep this onto a last scenario yet again. Maybe get an early force. This time there's enough spawns maybe to prevent it early. Maybe just good enough. Gunnar tries to stick himself off, is able to at least get through the door despite the trap not working. So nothing too bad happening with that one, as both teams just settle with the stalemate right now. But with these two incredibly fast rounds here, Compound was able to completely reverse the situation and can now chill on the lead a little bit.
Indeed, time is not really a factor right now. Soda's going to come in. He actually makes his way in pretty deep. Unfortunately, not quite able to get his rockets off, but he tried. Fugazi, he might be going for a banner. This is a surprisingly good point to go banner on. It's better for the defensive team, but you can also do it as the one holding second. And look how deep Azigal is in. He's playing sniper and he's walking so far forward, just trying to get these angles. Stan is above him, but he hasn't really spotted him yet. Max is pushing him back, and unfortunately Azigal not able to get it. And there we go, finally gets picked off. But he got in so deep there, but Jorge, he was just completely comfortable with standing way back with the rest of his team.
Yeah, it looks like no one even took a chance to get sniped, as they now try to take the chances themselves, get the gun as well. While the sniper takes some opportunities, not working out in that regard. Elias with a nice pipe onto Storm and Gunnar as well. Both going down. Godmode Stan, both incredibly weak. Can't really afford to keep fighting this. Godmode not getting out in time. Sniper isn't that fast. Hiding around the corner, maybe trying to exchange on people, make the best of the situation.
You think they're going to use it to... Never mind, they are. That's not even a question. And unfortunately, so far the medic has not been popped.
Mob drops!
Oh,
all they
no.
needed to was just use into them and catch them on the way out. But it's a classic situation where some people just really never want to use instead of just taking the better Uber in an exchange. And sometimes that just happens.
They still get the second point despite losing their medic, but they're going to lose that real quick as a superior positioning and heals just going to come in here. So Jorge, he's going to have another Uber advantage. It's not very big. This granary last point is pretty large. You can definitely kite an Uber pretty successfully. So maybe it's not enough to push on, but I mean, what do they have to lose by actually pushing on it? So I think we're about to see a dot push come in here, but it is also a map where there's going to be a sniper half the time, so you probably have to just pop on entry, but I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're trying to get through shutter, at least play careful around stakes. Gunnar just having the care sticky to jump in well with. Sniper not getting much, he actually completely chuckles him out of spawn. Ace it, and there's just nowhere to go.
The sentry gun is still up though. It needs to be taken down. They're even trying to air it down with the medic, but it's just being repaired so hard. Finally goes down. Now the double scout's going to be on the point and nobody can get through it in time. That's going to be 4-2. So the dot push does indeed succeed.
Now you can take your pick. Who threw the hardest? Was it Jorge, was it Eliasu, or was it Mob? Anyone's game at this point, I guess.
I'm just not even going to comment on it. I'm taking the coward's way out, baby. That's what I do. But talking about taking the coward's way out, Eliasu, he's just going lower at this point. He's just had enough of Gorner just sticking out up top. So he's just going to be in the corner, not do anything there. Let's see what the Xypher soldiers do. They've been very aggressive, and when they succeed, their mid succeeds. Looks like it's actually going to be Fugazi that jumps in first. But he's on the enemy catwalk right now, and looks like everyone is in the corner. And that was a bit of a confusing mid for me, Dom. Can you clear it up for me?
It keeps being these like low committal bombs by DG and Mac, where they just try to get in damage for free and not actually die at the end of it, which works fine so far. Has been struggling obviously last few minutes, but they couldn't really like commit at all in the first place. But they keep living most of the attempts, at least the first time around, which gives them a lot more potential damage output. So that makes a huge difference here, and keep up the momentum into second, get that point pretty quickly as well. 10 minutes, 2 rounds. On Grand, that's a tough order, but clearly not impossible.
Unfortunately, their corner wasn't able to get out of second as well. He was just way too slow. He probably needed to jump. And so he got picked off, and second fell to them as well. So now they're going to be locked here on this second point as well. It's still not time for them to do any kind of super camping here. But this is a good opportunity for Xypher to get another round back. I'm excited to see how they decide to do this. It's going to be a heavy up on this pipe. Going to be a sentry gun down in the usual spot as well. So a soldier getting in here is pretty unlikely, and they suspect a spy as well. You can just see this heavy just so distracted, basically trying to shoot at specters. But let's see what they decide to do.
Well, it's Q trying to just rush into Shutter onto the lone Solitaire, but it's not happening. KN even getting some free damage for his buff banner of all things. Big map, getting no damage fall off. Can be worthwhile.
Oh my god. Did you see that ammo pick
Yeah,
up?
he tries to just play ball with the thing, but not quite working out.
That was almost the best thing I've ever seen. I've actually played like with the buff banner on this point quite a bit, like on the defensive side, and it is really good on this point. Like it is like outrageously good. You can just spam it from this top area. Like they're going to usually want to actually contest it somewhat, so you can just get free spam pretty easily. It's pretty easy to build a banner on Granary. And then the buff banner in particular is just so good because they're usually hiding around the corner, so Stiggies will just randomly do like 130 to them and they don't see it coming. So it's
Speaking of things you don't see coming, this is the opposite of it. Scout feeds randomly into last and he spawns on Sniper. Probably the most predictable thing of all time in TF2. Looks like he's just taking upper as his area of choice. Can't get an angle though, has to keep rotating here.
Yeah, I think you can take randomly out of that that sentence. I'm pretty sure it was just fully intentional. But actually, Fugazi will get taken down, so that means that the right side is now fully open here for business. As everyone tries their best, Sand has gone down as well. This heavy is getting spammed out super heavily as well. Max trying to spam down the sentry gun. Looks like he will get it as well. So they're making really good progress here. Xypher, they're doing their best, but they're kind of bunched up. They're not really willing to fully commit. It looks like Div2 is going to be the last person to get the memo that they're not in anymore. But oh my god, Jorge goes down to 4 HP.
Yeah, if anyone hit anything else there, that would have been really bad. I did like at some point they just stopped shooting the gun and just shot the NG so he can't repair it anymore without dying. Nice little bit that just can make a big difference, and they got the gun eventually with it, but like you said, they're just not willing to take the full commit into last. They weren't willing to either throw somebody in early or exchange at all of it.
Yeah, the question is, when do you like use your Uber? When you have one-man advantage, is it okay to use your Uber? Just go in there?
It looks like Xypher isn't sure either right now, and indecisiveness is what killed so many good teams, and it might just kill the chances here as they take another chance. A lot of damage onto KN again. Stan is well fairly weak. The Solly's taking all the damage on both sides.
Oh, both soldiers just ate the same rocket. It looks like DVB has backed off here. He was super weak, and the Sniper's gone up here as well. And the more of these spam fights that they take, the better it is for Fugazi, because he is just right back on that banner. He wants to make this happen, and I think that's a good decision.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off in the end. For now, obviously, they can just ride the lead they have here and just be content with that.
Oh, he walks as far away as possible, so they don't hear it. He walked all the way back into spawn, and then he popped the banner. So I think he's hoping that they haven't heard it. I don't actually know what the range on that is.
Well, I was in front of Shudder with my cam and I heard it, so I don't know.
Alright.
Forces the Uber 2, no one's close anymore. Digi might die, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do. That was a bit of a pussy pop. I think they just were like, oh, we're exchanging. Let's go. So I think it was just a bit of poor communication. Jorge couldn't really see what was going on. He could just see that Fugazi was under a lot of fire. So that was definitely a misfire there. Like, Jorge was not in danger at all. So quite unfortunate. And I think he just underestimated or overestimated how many forces there were for blue. So now it's going to be an Uber advantage, but they need to move quick because it is like the advantage is getting smaller by the minute. And here comes the demo man. He jumps into the heavy weapons guy. He's still up on this pipe. They need to dislodge him. Jorge goes down. That's nice. Doesn't know my heals. So now they can actually play it slow if they so want to. This soldier is going to get chewed up by both scouts. Heavy's still on the pipe. Takes down the soldier, but the double scout on the heavy. I think the double scout is just what's going to win it here. They can't quite get onto the point yet because it's stickied up. But now the demo man's in spawn, so if they clear the point of stickies, that's surely going to be it. Yeah, they do. They lose their medic, but you don't need a medic to cap. So that's going to be 4-3. 5 minutes remaining. This is anyone's game, DuMmTm.
Yeah, very clean focus fire, and another really fortunate circumstance where Jorge just backed off into the gun, getting spammed down, and the entry can't repair everything, especially not your medic, so he just died. The gun goes down at the same time, pretty much, and it all crumbled from there with just a little bit more good focus fire onto the rest of them.
Coming up in a patch near you, repair medics. Also,
I think that's just called a dispenser.
Oh yeah, it's called medic armor for a reason. Gonna not gonna get an early demo kill this time around. Eliezer has just firmly backed off on that. So far it's been a pretty passive mid
Mob
here.
dies, he gets spammed down in the corner. Now it's just all in for the rest of the Xypher boys, and they're committing straight for the medic, but they're all dying for it at the moment.
Yeah, Jorge goes down, but that's gonna be it so far. Lil Cute does his best. Good dodging, but not a lot of damage either. Max gonna be the last hope. Gets stormed and gets killed himself. So Mob, he's gonna spawn in alone in spawn. He's just gonna sit there and not build Uber for a whole while. But again, Mob with the good play of dying first.
I don't know if it would have been just better though to try at least one of those two late survivors to get behind instead of sacking for like the very unfavorable DM fight where they were outnumbered. Might have been better for the long con here, because the midpoint is certainly now firmly in the red team's hands. And still in the lead, 4 minutes left. It took them about 6 minutes, I think, to get this last round. It's a tall order.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Probably the most difficult push on Granary is this second point into middle part. I think it's very difficult to make your way through. And then also they have a slight Uber disadvantage, so they can't like try to dot push it. If it's even Ubers, sometimes you can just push immediately and hope they don't have it in time because they weren't building properly, like the medics just erroring and stuff. But that's not even an opportunity here. So they need to figure something out. And you can see it's actually a pretty defensive posture right now for the compound. And it's going to come in right side. This scout, he's just in deep. Soda's going to jump in very aggressively as well. The scout is somehow still alive. Jorge, he takes some damage, but he will survive the aggression. And now the question is, do they even push off of this?
I'm gonna be interested to see as well. It was unfortunate what seemed like a little bit of poor communication between the Solly and the scout in on the mid to get in. And speaking of scouts in, Godmos tries, but Max shuts him down very, very quickly there with some nice rocket. Mob still taking a lot of spam himself, so has to be careful about somebody else committing, but it looks like that's about it. So Compound, like you said, not committing, merely trying to at least get like another pick going by rushing somebody, and at worst keeping the number situation even.
And curiously enough, Lil Q just gonna run in there. That's very aggressive. He might go for sniper. This is not a very good point to go sniper on. You can kind of do it the other way around, but from second to mid is not very good. You could like go in on the left side, and yeah, he's not gonna go sniper either. It kind of looked like a sniper feed, but I don't think it would make a whole lot of sense. So they are still working on it, DuMmTm.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of Snakewater here. Xypher in the much worse position, having to make something happen, and it's so comfortable for the red team to just sit on the defense here and hope they make mistakes and punish them.
Gonna go in through this right side. Lil Cute again is feeding in. I don't think he's going to be able to live to tell the tale either. He goes down. Mob's pretty weak. Oh my god, he's taking so much spam. He almost died to spam rockets. That was, ooh, like my asshole puckered, that's for sure. But it looks like we're actually going to get a push in here from the compound. This is sort of dangerous. You could get pushed back. And, you know, they might just be able to do the 7 CP thing. Here comes the Uber exchange. It's pretty even. It's actually 4 and 4. It's just going to be a soldier just standing around there like, what up, guys? We're all shiny.
But they don't have spam at all on Xypher. Doesn't matter. The scouts just rush the point. Get Gunner straight away. Digi back in the fight as well. Cute with the wraparound, but they're not getting anything else.
Yeah, it was a bit poor play there by Gona. Just backing off and playing the corner is so good there as Demo Man. And you can just win that with a Demo Man alone, but these soldiers do so much work. Really great job there by Fugazi as well. Just dodging things out. And yeah, you can just see Xypher, they're just trying everything right now. They're just sending like all their people in and just doing their best. And I think the winning play here is to not push, but they're going to go in here as well. They're going to win with that as well. So that's going to be 5-3. It is definitely going to the compound, so they're going to take it in maps 2-1. with a score of like they won like 3 rounds more or something. It was very close and went down to the wire.
Oh yeah, definitely. This was a really, really close game. I had my doubts at the beginning that this would be a good game. One team probably just gonna tilt eventually and gonna falter, but it was a really, really good fight in the end, and I was thoroughly entertained with everything that happened here.
Indeed. And I think I was actually correct when I said the soldiers were going to have a much better game on this for the compound, like on Granary. And that could just give them the edge on this map. And
yeah, but I think it came more down to the demos, if anything. I mean, mid-fights aside, the Gunner just was in better situation so much more than Ilyasu. And then you take the mid-fights into account as well on top of things. Just those 2 quick rounds made all the difference in the end.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta remove your Uber to die so that you may get 2 quick rounds and win.
That is I'm like 100% sure something Ombrick told me once in some post-game interview, where he just kind of like dropped so the rest of the team starts trying again. And it worked in the game. Like whatever team that was, top 5% at the time, I don't remember. But it worked in the end, so Roche just with the next level strats here. Arguably the best player on the server.
That's a real Prem medic right there. That's
Shame he's in Div2.
What, he played in Prem?
Yeah, not anymore though.
No, but he brought in the strats all the way down there, and he made it work.
So what you're saying is he carried all of these noobs.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They would be nothing without him.
That's an acceptable answer.
Do we have interviews coming, or is...
I don't think so, no. Pretty much no. So I can just pretty much sum up what is going to happen next week, which is pretty much every single other grand final ever in any other div. We obviously try to cover as many as possible, but if too many are at the same time, obviously not quite going to happen. I'll give it the best shot we have, so you can see as many different divisions grand finals as you can. There's still both low semifinals. I doubt I can get people motivated to get that on TFTV, but I definitely watch them because I watched low all season, so I'm keen on that. So keep your eyes on that for sure.
Yeah, it's the most wonderful of times. Christmas coming up. We've got all the finals going on.
And then, I can stop caring because Highlander season starts. It's perfect.
Oh, perfect. And a new update coming out. Never mind. Well, that would be nice, actually. Just no more updates, please.
Actually, yeah, that's great because they always drop when people play in ETF2L.
Yeah,
always perfectly at like 8 to 9 p.m. in the evening. And you just lose your scrim or your official, which is even worse. So thanks, Valve, for actually supporting ETF2L for once. And yeah, unless you have any other important thing to say, let's hope we can catch as many games next week as possible.
Absolutely agreed. Thank you guys for watching so much. This was the Div2 semifinals. And congratulations to Compound for winning. They're going to be meeting someone else in the finals.
And the Zoo. Third seed into playoffs in Div2A against Delivered and Compound. Lost their last match against them, but the rematch is bound to be good, since they clearly seem to have improved a lot, beating out Delivered in their match in the semifinals yesterday.
And they're called the Sioux, so it's actually like 2 different kind of installations against each other in the final. So I am looking forward to see what's going to happen there. It's the battle of the buildings, basically. So you want to catch that. And we'll almost certainly be broadcasting it. But yeah, it's going to be it for everyone here. ArchRhythm on production, DuMmTm, pleasure as always. And I'll give you the last words as we fade into the night.
I'll be watching low semifinals tomorrow, so watch my stream and good night.